I'd like to share with you a little bit of the backstory to Litterati if you haven't heard about us, and then go into a little bit more detail about the educational program that we've developed, share a little bit around how to use the app and engage during the classroom, and then take you through some of the more detailed educational modules that we've put together, which are really meant as a guide to the teacher, and really just as a point of reference. So Litterati was initiated probably about 6 years ago, and really in response to our founder's daughter. The founder and his family were walking in the woods in Oakland, and his daughter, 4 years old, pointed out that there was a box of cat litter in the creek, and she said, "Daddy, that doesn't go there." And he kind of like looked and said, "Yep, you're right." And then he was reminded of the days when he was back at camp, before the parents came, and the camp director would say, "Hey, everyone go and pick up 5 pieces of trash," and 2 minutes later the camp was spotless. And so he took that kind of concept, and that was really the birth of Litterati, of how to crowdsource clean the planet. So it doesn't really matter of which way you look at it. There are many statistics out there about what's occurring on the planet. If you read some of the World Economic Forum, we probably need something like 3 planets if we continue to consume and use products and create waste to the same extent as we do today by 2050. And so there's a real calling as to how do we kind of address this? And we believe that Litterati brings a little bit of that to the party to really help and kind of reverse that. So over 7 million tons of trash flow into our oceans every year. It's a truckload a minute or something like that. It is a lot. And again, the statistics tell us that there'll be more plastic in the ocean than fish by 2050, which is a rather concerning statistic. Across the globe, 4 trillion cigarettes are thrown on the ground. 4 trillion is a huge number. If you were to count one number every second, it would take over 1,200 years to count to 4 trillion. So it gives you an idea of the size of the problem, and this is on an annual basis. A study done in 2011, $11 billion is spent on cleaning it up, and that's the US only, of cleaning up litter. And this is an image that's been around for almost 10 years now, and this is an albatross, a baby albatross, which was born in the Atoll Islands, which is 5,000 miles away from any human, and this is what was found in its stomach. So there is a significant call to action here, and that's really where Litterati takes a part. And with such a vast problem, what we've seen, and again, we've been at this for about 6 years, there really is no data, or if there is data, it's very limited. And so Litterati is empowering people to clean the planet. We started off with one person picking up 1 piece of litter. We're now over 100,000 people picking up anywhere up to 10,000 pieces of litter a day, and we're in about 115 countries. And while we're doing that, we're building a global database of litter. And as you all know, most of, or if not all of the problems today are resolved by analyzing and understanding the data. So our vision is to be the platform that connects, quantifies, and empowers this global community to eradicate litter. So we have a simple app. It sits on your phone or on your mobile device. It works on Android and also on Apple. And it has a home page. This is the home page. You can see kind of like the latest activity, and you see a global count. And it has a small navigation bar at the bottom. You have the ability in the gallery to go in and see your images, and you can go in and you can actually tag what you see. So you can go in and you can say, okay, I found a coffee cup. It's made of paper and the brand is from Pete's. And we also provide you with a map to actually see what your impact is. As I mentioned, we have created what we call our own data taxonomy. We've been doing this for several years, and there's a similar recurring theme that's coming back all the time. And these are the things that we believe are the most important, or our community believes are the most important things to capture. So category, object, material, and brand. And so the device, so the mobile device captures the date, the time, the geolocation, and you as a user can input which tags. And as I said, we're really looking to create this database. So category in this case would be drink. The object is a cup. The material is plastic, and the brand in this case is Starbucks. So we're really looking for, if you can help us assist when you go out and do this with your students, to define what the object is, what the material is, and what the brand. We are still kind of working on category. It's rather complex. So if you're going to tag anything, then we would advise to tag on object, material, and brand. So education. So we did not start out as an education platform, and I would say that we're still not necessarily an education platform. But what we have found is that teachers and students have reached out to us and have used the app in fascinating ways to teach about sustainability, to teach about recycling, to teach about waste. And so we took that challenge on and developed an educational program, and that's the one in which there's a reason why I'm talking to you today. So we've created a parent club. It's called the School District of Philadelphia. That's part of the Clean Futures program. So that's really the parent organization, and the idea is that each one of the classes or groups, you would create a club, and I'll explain to you how you do that. You would create a club, you would affiliate that club to the School District of Philadelphia, and we would have a collection of schools in the Philadelphia School District area that are now active and collecting data and engaging with students. And that's really the purpose, is to learn on an individual level, on a school level, and also on a city level of what's out there, and also what it is that we can do to ultimately reduce litter in that environment. So this is where the presentation changes a little bit. So I'm going to skip to what's called the Litterati Educational Project. What we've done is we've tried in our phase 1 of the project is to really align the topics, or the lesson plans, as it were, to the different subjects. Now, this is completely up to each individual teacher if this makes sense or not, but just to give you an idea, we aligned with science, math, English, art, technology, and geography in our phase 1, and I'll explain a little bit more of that. And this rather complex looking chart is really the 4 phases that we have. So, and I'll walk you through this a little bit later on. So the first one you see here, called Intro Unit Litterati, is really an introductory unit. It's brief intro to the app, and also gives you a couple of lesson plans. You could probably, if you wanted to do all of that, you could do it in a day, or a couple of hours over a couple of days. Phase 1 is where we're aligned to the different subjects, so science, technology, field study, maths, geography, English. We have a second language, Spanish, and also art. Phase 2, we've teamed up with an organization called Design for Change, and that's using design thinking to be able to tackle this problem and let the students create their own solutions. And then in phase 3, we introduce the circular economy, and really encourage the students to kind of build their own business and circular economy around this. And then there's also a final personal plan and a pledge. So we have some examples, and I've just picked out 2. So this first one, if you've seen the TED Talk, this is the one from there. So this is a school in Oakland, California, or Fremont, sorry, in California, where the students went out and they picked up 1,247 pieces of litter across their campus. And when they went through the data, they realized that the most common item was the straw wrappers that were coming from their cafeteria. So they got together, they petitioned and spoke to the principal and said, hey, can we stop buying straws? And so they stopped buying straws, and it stopped being a littered item. And that seems a really simple story, but that's what the data and also really the experience of the students kind of taking ownership of this really led to a decision which reduced and eradicated that source of litter. This next one was I'm based in Madrid in Spain. This was a local school. We did a similar kind of project. They went out, they picked up over 1,000 pieces. They came back, and then they did a little bit of design thinking, and they came up with different ideas. They created posters, they shared them across the school, they created, they wrote to local council members, they wrote to local businesses, and they also implemented a recycling system in the school that previously didn't exist. So the fact that the litter is the focus, it's not necessarily the end game. The purpose here is to use litter as a medium to be able to talk about broader challenges that are faced by litter and also waste in general. So that brings me to the end of the presentation. I am quickly going to go through the infographic. So if you download the app, you can get the app from the App Store or Google Play. Just type in Litterati and it should be the first one that you see. If you download the app, then you have to create a user ID and log in. And then I think it's fairly simple. So, if you want to take a picture, then you just click on the camera. You can take your photo. It automatically uploads. It does not stay on your camera. It goes directly into the cloud. And then you can tag. So we have the option to tag now or tag later. Tag now means as soon as you've taken the image, then you're encouraged to tag. Or if you tag later, then you can continue taking images. You take 5, 10, 100 images, and then you can tag later. It works offline and online, or you can just have it on network, or you can have it on Wi-Fi. Those are all changeable within settings. As I said, it will be important that you spend time tagging so that then you can do better analysis of what it is that you've found. I'm going to skip through this. So the most important thing is at the bottom right-hand side, there are 3 little circles. You can tap on that, and then you can go to, there's a sidebar that opens, and it will show clubs, profile, and settings. What we're going to want you to do as coordinators or teachers or responsible people for kind of implementing this program is to create a club. So it's very easy. You click on club and you have the option to start a club or join a club. So let's say that we're going to start a club. So you go here and you're given this kind of blank template. You can type your name, your class name, the school name, the college name, or whatever it is. You can add an image by clicking on edit. You can describe the goal of that that club. And then here around choose affiliation, if you tap that bar, that's where you're going to be able to choose the Philadelphia School District. That image that I showed before, you'll see it there as a banner. And please choose the Philadelphia School District. That way we'll be able to follow the program on an aggregate level. And once you've done that, and that's what will appear at the bottom, like this one here. It says the school district of Philadelphia. That will appear at the bottom of your club. So save that, and then you can send invites. You can send the invites to via text or via email, and you can actually post that that URL that's created into social media if you wish, and then. If the students want to find the club, then they just need to go to club search here. They would go into this box up here, and they would choose search, and they would type whatever the club name is. If you've already created a club and haven't affiliated it, that's not a problem. You just need to let me know, and I will put that in the. You just send me an email at dick@litterati.org, and I will write that down for you and make that available for you. And that's it. So that's the infographic. And then the last thing that I want to share with you are the programs themselves. So I think you've got the links. If you haven't, I'll send them to you. And they're all open. They're all on our Google Drive. But this is the first intro module. So there's a little bit of an explanation of how and where we're focused. We are aligned with 7 of the United Nations Standard Sustainable Development Goals, and here you have examples of activities you can do. So there's activity 1 is raise awareness, so you can tap on here and see the TED Talk on Litterati. It's 6 minutes long. There's a discussion you can have in the classroom. Download the app, play with the app. We've got some exercises that you can do around tagging. So, for example, if I click on this, it takes me to a secondary document, and this is like a document that you can do in the classroom. So, for example, let's practice making the taxonomy. So category, this is a cigarette, or this is this is a drink, and it's a straw, it's plastic, and there's probably no brand associated to that. So these are things that they're links within the document, and these are hopefully, and we'd love your feedback, because as I said, this is pretty much our second version of our educational program. So we got a lot of feedback on the first one, and this is the second one, and I would really appreciate your feedback. So this is there's a possibility to do some creative activities. We've had schools doing art projects, etc. We have phase 1, which is the more comprehensive one. So we're aligned with all of these different topics. So science, technology, field study, English, maths, and each one of these has, as previously, a more detailed kind of lesson plan, or let's say lesson guide for the teacher. Again, each one has its own. We have a lot more detail and information. Phase 2, as I said, is like it's a design thinking methodology. It's a design thinking workshop. We have teamed up with Design for Change. They're based in, it's a global organization. They are based out of Washington in the US, Washington DC. And again, this is a high level kind of approach. They use 4 stages to do this, and there's a lot of kind of engagement from the class. And then the final one, and then this is the last one, and then I'll open it up for questions. We talk about the circular economy. So we work with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. We can talk about, what is the theory of the circular economy, what are the basic principles, and then there's also an opportunity to run your own project around the circular economy. And then we also post, there are some competitions that you can submit the class information to. There's the Diamond Challenge. Junior Achievement also has a program around environmental change or design thinking. And then the final piece is a personal pledge. So the students get to kind of make a promise to themselves of what it is that they would do differently in the future after going through all of this. So we think that it's quite comprehensive. I don't know if it's too much or too little. I would love that feedback. But with that, I have finished the presentation, and I will take any questions which you may have.
Do any of the teachers that are participating have any questions?
Yes, I do. This is Cheryl over at Tilden. I just wanted to make sure, as you were speaking, when you said about the app, you did say download it. So I was on my phone downloading it. Is that what you were specifically saying? Do it now on our phones?
Yeah, I mean, you can download it now, and again, it depends on which age group that you are engaging with, right? So if middle school, okay, so if the students have their own devices, then it would be great for them to download it on their own devices.
Okay.
And then what we've seen, and again, this is completely, way better the capacity of your own students. So we've seen it works well in small groups or even in pairs.
Okay.
So one of them downloads it on the phone and the other one is kind of picking up.
Okay.
You can also, when you think about, going out to do the field study, you can kind of direct them to one group to focus on plastic, another group to focus on paper, and then it's easier to recycle.
Cigarette butts. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I get it. Paper, plastic. I get it. And then they can recycle. Right. Plastic or the specific areas. Okay. Now this is what I noticed as I was playing around with it. It did say give it a name. So when the students say one student downloads the app and another student downloads the app, if we decide on a group name, say like Team Tigers, that student Makai, when he downloads it and asks for the name, it's going to be Team Tigers, and when Khalil downloads it on his phone, it's going to be Team Tigers, right? All the same.
No. So the name that's requested at the login is the personal name or display name that the individual wants to have as a user.
Okay. So we can all be in the same classroom but have different usernames.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Which would work better. Which would work better because when you have a club, when you go and create a club, that would be Team Tigers, and then they would need to join that club. And then you have all of the class in that one single club.
Got it.
Constance, I saw that you were on too. Did you have any questions?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, this is Maria Pacheco from George Washington High School. Hello. Great presentation. I was not able to connect through the computer because I had an appointment, but I did it through my phone. And just wanted to let you know that, yesterday, some of our students started downloading the application on their phone. The teacher who's taking over now for the club in my school, she assigned that as homework for Monday because that's the next day when she's going to see them. The students were very receptive and enthusiastic about it. I just wanted to make sure that we have written directions on how to work in teams, what you were saying, because I was thinking that probably, at the beginning was going to be, students were going to be excited, they were going to be doing that, tagging, and doing all that kind of things, but we really want them to work in groups.
Yeah.
And make the work easier. Like probably let's start with pairs and as you were explaining, having one student taking the picture and the other student doing the rest. Or I think for me and for my team, I think that it would be better for us to have like reading direction. Do you have how to do that?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last bit. It would be best to have what region?
Do you have the directions in writing? Like you have a document where we can follow the directions? I'm sorry, my phone. I was driving. I pull over. Are we gonna have access to the PowerPoint?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And you should have access to the infographic that we sent through, and also to everything that I shared today. You should have access to.
Okay, I saw the infographic. That was what we used yesterday. So we led the students through the process where you were explaining, and some of the students who had connection in our school yesterday, they were able to do it. The rest are gonna do it, at their houses, at their home, and then they all should have it on Monday.
Okay.
They should have been, but I was afraid that I didn't know. Well, first of all, I don't know if any of my other colleagues are there. I don't know if Pisaki, are you there? Venus? They probably missed it. Well, I'm glad that I got connected because I did want to have George Washington High School to have a representation there. I don't feel that I know how to lead the students to work in groups using the app. That's my concern.
Okay.
So if I see the steps in writing, I can follow through.
Okay.
So they're in the PowerPoint too.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
All right, no problem. And what I would like, I don't know, Megan or Nick, if you can send me the list of the schools and contacts, because then what I can do is I can make sure that all of the clubs have been opened and have been affiliated correctly. Because
sure, I can do that.
Okay, great. Because then we can make sure that anything that's being picked up is going into the club, so that we can follow.
Great.
Okay. And again, if you guys have any issues, you just need to ping me. I will make sure you get my email, and I will work to get you a response as soon as I can within a day.
Okay, and Dick, you're in Madrid, right?
I'm in Madrid, but yeah, it's not a problem.
Okay.
The founder and CEO is in Oakland, so we tag team between both time zones, so we have you covered.
Okay. Great. Were there any other questions?
I'm sorry. Yes, I still have another question. Okay, when do we officially start?
Nick, did we say February 1st?
Yeah, so that's when we were in. Yeah, thanks again for being on this call. So, yeah, what we had just kind of anticipated was having, and thank you again so much, Dick, for willing to do this webinar. So we wanted to give everyone as many opportunities as possible to ask questions and figure it out. And then I guess, Megan, you could send out word again to everybody to say, time starts now, starting on February 1st. And then you basically have until, as the grant says, until, or the program says, until April 30th to kind of complete your projects. And then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Sure, I can send all that.
Yeah. So I just want to understand, so we start using the app and doing the things that we learned tonight, the tagging, etc., on the app starting tomorrow, and that includes also completing the phases of the project, correct?
Yeah, yes, exactly. This is Nick again. And yeah, exactly. It's kind of, again, how we describe the project and what the great thing about Litterati is and the program or the curriculum that Dick has made available is, you can take all this information and then apply it to a program to make some change within your school or try to answer a question or figure out how to kind of prevent litter. Yeah, so this is all kind of wrapped up in the same thing, and we're going to have monthly check-ins to kind of talk about whenever you have an idea you want to bounce off of us, or if you need resources, whatever you need, just keep going as you develop these projects and start implementing them.
Yeah,
that sounds great. Okay,
so I'd just like to kind of be clear. So we talked about and if you go into these documents, hopefully you'll get a feeling for them. But we have 4 different modules, right? So we have, as I said, if you can see the screen, I'm going to show it to you right now. We have an introductory module. An introductory module, if you did it from the beginning to end with a class full of like 25 students, let's say middle school, it would probably take 5 hours. Right, so I don't know if you want to do that in one day, or you want to do it over a week or over 2 months. If you wanted to do all of phase 1, that would probably take 20 hours. If you wanted to do it in depth, if you wanted to do phase 2, that's an additional anywhere between 5 and 20 hours, and then phase 3 is 5 to 20 hours. Now, you don't need to do that. If you want to get the experience, and you're obviously learning this as well, and I don't know how it fits in with the other curricular activities that you have going on. So if there's a way to blend it in, then that's fantastic. If there's not, and you want to have it as a standalone project, then that's also great. That's really up to you. We wanted to give kind of the tools, and then you decide how they get consumed.
Okay.
And Dick and Nick, this license, even though the contest is over at the end in April, this license, though, if they wanted to continue the project, is good for a full year, correct?
Correct. Yep, all of 2019.
Okay, that's what I don't understand either. I'm sorry. I just downloaded this on my Apple, and it was free. It didn't ask for any money. I'm a little confused with where the license is. Is it the license for the app or the license to participate in the project?
It's a great question. So the app is free to download for anyone and everyone.
Yes.
The educational program, this content that you see and we're sharing today, is also free.
Yeah. Okay.
What the license is providing is the access to the data which you are generating and the reports that you can use within the program.
I see. It's the access. So when we put in data, we go out tomorrow and we start collecting something. And if we already want to start to analyze, what you're saying is without this license, we really couldn't do that. How do I get access to our data?
So right now we're set up like to provide that data on a monthly basis. But if you want access to that data prior to that, you just need to send me a note.
Okay. And how do we I guess what I'm saying is, how do you even know where my data is? Like because
you're in a club, and I follow the club, so I can.
Okay. So when I log in and make up that club, you're gonna know because of the registration when I finish registering us in the app, because I didn't go as far as name it. I want the kids to be able to do that and stuff.
Exactly, and that's also why it's important that the club is affiliated to the banner that I talked about, the school district of Philadelphia, because right now we have 20 plus schools in the program, and that data will also be provided to the city, so that they can get an understanding of the activity of what's being picked up, what's being found. So kind of everyone gets to share in the data and the learning.
Okay. All right. One last question. Is there a way that just to make sure that I'm doing things right, that I could reach out to you just to make sure I did it right? Like, I love tech, but I'm not a native. I'm not okay. What would that way to contact you be?
So I will send you my email, but it's Dick, so DICK at Litterati.org.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
I'll include all that too in the email that we send out with the link to this recording, the link to all the infographic, the presentation, and all those other things. Wait, Dick, you said it's just in a Google Drive?
Yeah, it's just the links.
Is that something that okay. Then I'll just include
the public
links.
links. Yep, the public links.
Okay. I'll include all that and like a ready, set, go, and also Dick's contact information, as well as mine, Emma's, and Nick. Would you be okay if we included you too? Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? I think there's going to be a lot of schools that are jealous that they didn't apply.
Let's hope so. I really appreciate you guys, taking this on, and I'm really looking forward to working with you all, because it's a great opportunity.
All right.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm always asking a question. It's just one other quick one, if I may, if we have a minute. I applied with my class in mind, smaller size autistic support, but yet I'm collaborating with some of the teachers in the general community. Is it too late to involve them, or is it possible to involve them?
What do you mean general community?
Oh, general education. I'm sorry. Some of the classes upstairs in the general education setting. So, one of my former students is in a general education 8th grade social studies and English language arts class, and I'm working with the teacher to help modify work and just create some individualized assignments for him. So we're kind of collaborating, that teacher and I. So he may be interested, in using some of this data, or the math teacher to make a lesson or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Is this something that can... Go ahead.
I think it's anyone in the school, right, Dick? Anybody in the school can join the club?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Good. All right. Thank you.
Okay. So, Dick, you'll send me a link for the recording, and I'll send it out to everyone?
Once I work it out, I'll send it out.
Okay, great. Well, if that's it, I guess we can wrap it up.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I'll send you all a link, and I look forward to continuing working together. Great.
Sounds great. Thank you,
Thank
Dick.
you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Take care.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Megan. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Cheryl.
Okay.
Thank you. My phone was mute. Thank you.